Welcome to April, a month that is shaping up to be a pretty good one in terms of indie game releases. First up, we have Throne of Bone, a game that looks to fuse auto-battling with the roguelike genre. You play as a necromancer looking to reclaim your throne, which you do by drafting minions and spells to fight various encounters each run. It follows the auto-battler template by allowing you to buy minions from a shop after each battle, with multiple copies of the same minion leading to upgrades and more powerful minions once you have upgraded the shop. You will also get the chance to acquire relics that will add powerful buffs and could change the course of your run. Whilst the game isn't bringing anything new to the table in terms of mechanics, I found the demo to be good fun and it scratches that auto-battler itch. Throne of Bone comes to Steam Early Access April 8th. Next up we have Botany Manor, a puzzle game set within a Victorian manor. Playing as botanist Arabella Green, you will plant and grow various different plants in order to finish the botanical research book she is writing. To do this, you must explore the house and its grounds, solving puzzles that will allow you to learn how to grow each plant. It's a really neat premise for a puzzle game, and alongside a bright and inviting art style, it seems like it will be a lovely and relaxing time. Botany Manor comes to PC and Nintendo Switch April 9th. Our next title is one that has seen various delays over the past few months, but finally makes it into players' hands this April. Broken Rose is a story-rich turn-based RPG set within a post-apocalyptic Australia. Taking inspiration from the classics of the CRPG genre, Broken Rose looks to provide a deep morality system that the developers say will greatly impact the game and story that you experience.
Name's Jonesy, mate.
Alongside this is a classless system, leaving the player free to build characters within their team in any way they see fit. The developers talk a big game, but preview coverage has been fairly positive, and there is a lot of buzz around this title. Hopefully, developers Drop Bear Bytes can deliver and provide a new CRPG classic. Broken Rose comes to PC, PlayStation 4 and 5, and the Xbox consoles April 10th. Each month I like to feature a title that is a bit out of left field, and this month that honour goes to Underspace. Billed by the developers as a spiritual successor to Freelancer, a classic arcade space sandbox game, it talks a big game, and like Freelancer you are free to explore the galaxy and play in whatever way you see fit, be that as a trader, miner, pirate or bounty hunter. Alongside this freedom are 16 main missions to play through and 45 subquests set within 114 star systems. You'll be able to upgrade your ship with a wide variety of new pieces of equipment and have various types of enemies to fight. So far you might be thinking that this all sounds fairly standard for the genre, but as you can see from the footage, there is a bit of a twist with Underspace, as the universe is filled with various Lovecraftian beasts which look rather mad and will serve as huge bosses to fight. The developers warn that the early access launch will not feature everything they want to put into the game, but will be accompanied by a detailed roadmap. It is a title that sounds and looks very interesting. Underspace comes to Steam Early Access April 10th. Next up is Europa, a relaxing and lovely looking adventure game that sees you play as Z, a young boy who sets out into the world of Europa in search of answers. Alongside a beautiful looking world, what caught my eye with this game from my time with the demo was the various traversal systems available to the player. Z is able to glide, run and fly around the world, which reminds me a bit of Journey. Using these movement abilities, you will need to solve various puzzles in order to uncover the secrets hidden within the world. All in all, the game looks like one of those titles that would provide a sense of joy and warmth on a cold, wet April Sunday afternoon. Europa comes to PC April 16th.
Clean water, fresh air, wide open skies. Everything a child deserves. By sending you ahead, I'm staking my heart on the future.
Kingsgrave is a game that looks to take inspiration from the classic Zelda games, allowing the player to explore further after unlocking new abilities. Two things stood out to me when playing the demo for this game. Firstly, it's not a roguelike, and secondly, I really liked the way unlocks worked and tied into the lore of the world. As the king of a world that has been struck by a terrible disease, you need to rebuild your kingdom for your subjects, and this is where the unlocks come in. By rescuing and recruiting subjects and rebuilding their homes and businesses, you unlock new abilities and upgrades. So, by making your kingdom more powerful and helping your subjects, you yourself become more powerful. It's a neat little system that I think works really well. Alongside this is some tight combat with a variety of weapons to use and enemies to fight. And all in all, Kingsgrave is shaping up to be a cool looking title. Kingsgrave comes to PC April 17th. Our next game is my pick of the month. No Rest for the Wicked is the next title from the developer Moon Studios, they of Ori fame, and as expected, what immediately stands out with this title is the beautiful graphics. Moon Studios have managed to create a stunning looking world. What is perhaps more surprising is the game itself. It is billed as an ARPG, but this is no Diablo clone. In fact, it hews much closer to Dark Souls, with a similarly deliberate and precision-based combat system and huge bosses to fight. Gone also is the standard procedurally generated world, with Moon Studios opting for a handcrafted world, but don't worry, there is still room for random loot and online co-op. So No Rest for the Wicked is perhaps what you get from mixing Diablo and Dark Souls, which is perhaps a bit reductive, but for me, very enticing. No Rest for the Wicked comes to PS5, Steam Early Access and the Xbox series of consoles, April 18th. Fans of Suikoden will want to take notice of this next game. Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes is for all intents and purposes the next Suikoden game, a JRPG series much beloved by players. Coming from Yoshitaka Murayama, the creator of the Suikoden games, who sadly passed away recently, Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes follows the same template by allowing players to play as a large variety of different characters, in this case 100 heroes. I have no idea how this is going to work in terms of telling a coherent story, but as someone who has always been curious about the Suikoden series, I'm interested in finding out, and I really enjoyed the world the developers created for the prequel game, Rising. Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes comes to all the consoles, Game Pass and PC, April 23rd.
You can help more than a person here or a person there. You can help entire nations.
Well, I know you giving it your all will help me rise to the occasion too.
A soldier's greatest wish is not to be working after all. If it helps, theirs was a noble sacrifice for the betterment of humankind.
Laying down arms and surrendering is, well, it's not the worst of our available options.
Easy, Marissa. Not throwing our lives away, remember?
I live here. I grew up here. And there's no way I'm gonna let a bunch of damn corpses defile my home.
No one's asking you to change. All you have to do is keep being yourself.
Fight for our friends, our families, and our homes. You will never break us!
The penultimate game for this month is Another Crab's Treasure, our second Souls-like title this month. Dark Souls with crabs is a reductive way of describing this game, but also a handy one. Featuring classic Souls-like combat, the twist here is that as a crab you can inhabit various shells that will change the kinds of powers that you have access to. Beware though, as the shells are fragile and will only withstand a certain amount of hits before being destroyed and leaving you vulnerable. As well as the martial challenges available, the world features a fair amount of traversal with secrets hidden away for the player to find, which helps to freshen up the gameplay. As a Souls-like, Another Crab's Treasure will live and die by how good the combat itself is, but early impressions have been positive on this front. Another Crab's Treasure comes to all the consoles and PC, April 25th.
I hope you know what you just dove into, kid. See you in the open ocean, treasure hunters.
This month has been very much about the release of long-awaited titles, so it is fitting that we end with another one in Manor Lords. This medieval strategy game has at various times been one of the most wishlisted games on Steam, and in January passed the 2 million wishlist mark. Mixing base building with large-scale tactical battles, I can see why it has attracted so much attention, which makes the fact that it is being developed by one person even more impressive. As with other city builder type games, you start off small and must grow your village, making sure you tend to the needs of your inhabitants and deal with the change of seasons. Expansion will impact the environment, so if you expand too quickly and cut down too much forest, you may find the deer population crashes and your citizens start to die of starvation. As you grow more powerful, you will be able to build an army and go to war with neighbouring lords. Even here you have to consider the impact on your town, as every dead soldier is a lost citizen. It is a title that is looking to do some really deep simulation, which would be unique for the genre if Slavic magic can pull it off. Manor Lords releases on Game Pass and PC, April 26th.
Here we go, boys!
To arms, men!
And that concludes the April rundown. As I mentioned, a lot of heavyweight and long delayed titles making out this month, which could lead to a stellar crop of releases. Why don't you tell me in the comments below which one you're most looking forward to? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. Those kind of things really help the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.